What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with the overall markets. Just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And don't forget about the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY. The offer ends in just 11 days. Check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's talk about the markets. So SPY got this very nice looking push to the upside. So did Tesla, but now we're hitting some tough resistance. And we can see the market's trying to kind of be range bound for the time being. So the question is, what's going to happen from here? I do want to note that at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the 4 and 8 week bill auctions coming out. So look for some volatility at those times. Besides that, all the data for the rest of the day is very minor. So what's happening? Excuse me. What's happening for now? The answer is SPY is stuck between these levels. We basically have 572 as our main resistance. SPY has not been able to really break through that yet. And then we also have resistance around 570.8. Our support to watch for is basically at this like 570 area, followed by 568. So I'll be watching to see how well we end up holding up at these different levels. So watch them very carefully. In my opinion, SPY could dip a little bit and then come back up and just continue to consolidate in this range. I think we're going to most likely be range bound for the time being. I'm not really expecting anything too crazy from this point on. However, we'll have to see if we can try to hold it at least above 568. If we lose that, we will turn down lower. And if we end up breaking 572, we're going to be breaking out even higher. Otherwise, we're just range bound on SPY. We did a great job at pushing so far, but now the market's hitting some tough resistance and there's a nice balance that's forming. Nvda looks a little bit more bullish, but it's kind of stuck between 118 and 120. So if we lose 118, we're looking for basically 117. If that fails, we're going down to 115. If we break 120, we're looking for breakouts to 122, if not 125. But as of right now, despite the flag that's forming, Nvidia is range bound between 118 and 120. So whichever way we break, whether it's 118 or 120, whichever one of these breaks will determine a much bigger move. So watch for that very carefully. For Bitcoin, the 4 hour is looking more bullish. I say this because we have a nice inverse head and shoulders. If we continue to rally, we're looking for basically this 63,500 areas resistance. If that breaks, we go up to about 65,000. And if you reject here, we could be dipping back down towards 62,500, if not below that. So we look more bullish right now on Bitcoin. There's more upside potential, so give it the time it needs. For ES, we have 5780 as our resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for 5800. And if we end up rejecting, right, we're going to be looking for a dip back down towards the support right over here at 5750. So we're kind of stuck within this range. I see more upside potential on ES, so we'll give it some time. But it really depends if we can hold above this support. For Tesla has this tough resistance at this 240 area. And our support to watch for is around this 238 area. So we're kind of stuck in those ranges right now. It's doing a good job though, and I just want to say there's more upside potential because of this. When you look at the daily time frame, as long as as long as we break 240, I think Tesla could fill the gap all the way up towards 246. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. If 238 fails, this will be dipping back down towards 235. And if that fails us, we have a gap to fill below. Overall, Tesla's doing a good job. It looks bullish. So we'll see if we continue to break out above 240 to start filling this gap above. I see potential in Tesla nonetheless. For a few more out there, we also have NQ. This looks more bullish, but we're looking at basically 20,200 as resistance. And we have 20,000 as support. If we lose 20,000, we're looking for a dip back down towards 19,800. If we break past 20,200, we're looking for 20,400 as our target. So I think we're just going to shuffle between 20,000 flats and 20,200. We'll see which way we go from there. For the QQQ, we look more bullish as we're trying to break out right over here. We basically have this resistance to watch for around this 485 area. And then our support is going to be all the way down here around 482. So we're kind of stuck in the middle. If 485 breaks, we're going to be looking for a bigger push for 488. If we end up losing 482, we're looking for a dip back down. Now there's more upside potential for 485, at least up here on the QQQ. And I think we will eventually break it later on. But for now, we're just shuffling between 482 and 485. So we're just going to be watching that for now. Aapl did a good job at breaking out. We have 230 as resistance, and also 232 is going to be a tough resistance. Support to watch for is at 228. I think we're just going to shuffle as well between 228 and 230. But there is still upside potential for 232 later on. So give that some time. For the IWM Russell 2000, we're just range bound as well. We have 226 is where we went up to. Now we're dipping a bit. So we're looking at support at 222 flat. If that fails us, we have 221. And resistance at 224. I think we're just going to be range bound between 221 and 224 for the time being, going back and forth and back and forth. So give this the time it needs. For Coinbase, I think we look a little bit more bullish. I think that if we continue to hold up, we have this resistance to watch for around 175 and maybe a little bit under that. And our support to watch for is going to be around 170. So there's more upside potential. So give this the time it needs. For Amazon, we have 190 as resistance, and we have support down here around 188. If 188 fails us, I think we could be coming back down to not only fill this gap, but retest 186. So I'll be watching this. Amazon is kind of shuffling just under 190 for now, but overall, the trend is still looking quite decent. So if we break 191, we go back to bullish. If not, we're just going to shuffle for the time being. And if 188 fails us, we turn back down. As of right now, we're just shuffling on Amazon. For Meta, we pushed up, and we're actually looking more bullish. So I actually broke my target of 555 again. So it's still looking very, very strong, breaking resistance. We're looking at the next resistance zone around this 557 area. If that breaks, I'm going to be looking for basically 560. So we have a very, very big breakout on Meta. It's been breaking out for the last couple of days. Look at 557 as resistance. If that breaks, we have 560. If that fails us, we're going to be coming back down to 555. Looks more bullish nonetheless. Microsoft is range bound. We have 440's resistance, and we have support at 436. So I think we're just going to be stuck in the middle, going back and forth once again. We're doing a good job so far. For Google, we basically have been pushing up. We have resistance at 165. If that breaks, we're looking for 166. If we end up losing 163, we're going to be dipping back down to 161. So we're just stuck in the middle, but overall, we're looking at this 165 resistance at the 200 EMA. So I think it's shuffling. We need to break 165 to remain bullish. Otherwise, this might just consolidate. So be very, very careful with Google for now. We'll see if 165 breaks. Anyways, that's it for my video, guys. The market is doing a good job at holding up. It hit resistance, so now it's just range bound. So we'll see if we could eventually break resistance later on, especially during the end of the day. I think the market's going to be range bound for now, and then by the end of the day, we're looking for a bigger move. So we'll see which way we end up going. But until that time comes, I'll give you guys another update later on in just a couple of hours. Until then, watch your levels very carefully and just know the market is full of manipulation. We were looking bearish based off technicals yesterday after Jerome Powell gave his speech and the market started dumping. But then this morning, they just gapped us up like crazy and started to try to push us higher, especially on like the tech sector. So with that being said, there's a lots of manipulation. You want to be very careful when it comes to the way you trade. Manage risks very, very well when it comes to what you do. And just know that we are range bound for now. We saw some crazy volatility after FOMC, and it's still having its remnants on the market for now. All right, so have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours for another update. Until then, please have a great day and be very mindful of the fact the market's now kind of like range bound. And I'll see you guys for another update very soon. Thanks again, and peace out.